Hi guys, another video showing how to meet assessment objectives in an O-level business studies paper. But the questions we'll discuss today, they will be based on chapter 3, 4 and 5. In previous video, we discussed questions based on chapter 1 and 2 only. So let's have a look at the questions. This question, and that is based on chapter number 3. Okay, now for your convenience, I have colored knowledge with red, application with blue, analysis with pink color and evaluation with green color, so that when I demonstrate this, you will find it easier to identify that whether it is knowledge being demonstrated, application, analysis or evaluation being demonstrated. Alright, let me read the information first, which is there at the start of the question. Managing a large company is not easy, said Neely Kroner, Chief Executive of Kroger Enterprises, a major electronics manufacturing business. Some of the main items are oven, fridge, toaster, washing machine. Neely knows the qualities an entrepreneur must possess to be successful. The management of Kroger Enterprises believes that their business would benefit from taking over Company A, a rival business. Now, this is the information, and you need to keep this information in your mind because you have to use it to demonstrate application. Okay, let's see the first, the A part of this question, that is define the term business plan. So you can see the command word is defined. So in this question, only knowledge is required. So this question carries 2 marks and 2 marks are for knowledge only. So now I defined it in this way. Let me read it. It is a document that contains aims and objectives of a business, along with details about operations, finance, marketing, etc. So this definition has 2 identifiable parts, as I told you earlier as well, that it's a document and it has aims and objectives, and apart from that, it has other details as well, right? Okay. Now, similarly, if I talk about part B now, so the command word identify is there. Again, only knowledge objective to be met. Identify 2 types of integration other than mentioned above. So I mentioned vertical and conglomerate. But remember, some students, they actually write horizontal as well. But horizontal cannot be written here because you won't get any marks for that. Reason is because in the question they said other than mentioned above. So if you see the information which is at the start of the question, so the information is that they are planning to take over Company A, which is their rival business, right? So it means this is horizontal integration, and students are supposed to mention types of integration other than horizontal integration. That's why I wrote vertical and conglomerate. Now, part C of the same question. Outline 2 qualities possessed by Neely that made Kroger Enterprises a successful business. Now, what is the command word? Yes, you are right. Outline. So whenever command word outline is there are 2 hidden objectives set by the examiner. 1, knowledge. Second is application. So there are 2 marks for knowledge and 2 for applications. Now, quality 1, she is a risk taker, and I intentionally used red color. This is knowledge being demonstrated, right? So you'll get 1 mark for that. Now, further, as she took the decision to take over rival business. Of course, when you are planning to take over a business, there is big risk involved because big amount is there. But why I did not write that? Reason is explanation is not required here. That is what we call analysis, right? There are marks only for knowledge and application, but application has to be related to whatever the question is. So I'll get 2 marks here, 1 for knowledge and 1 for application, and application is quite relevant to whatever I am writing here. Now, quality 2, she must be an inspiring leader. That is knowledge, right? Another quality, as managing a large business requires someone who can lead from the front, or you can write this as well, motivate employees, as managing a large number is not easy. Now, why it is an application? Because they mentioned in the information at the start that it's a large company. So large company usually have large number of employees. So this can also be part of your application as well. But again, we are not supposed to build an argument or show analysis part, because that is not required in the question. So I'll get another 2 marks, one for knowledge again and one for application. Now have a look at the D part of the question. Now, what is the command word? Yes, explain is the command word, and whenever this command word is there at the start of the question, 3 objectives come into play: knowledge, application and analysis, as I explained that in the earlier video. So now for 2 factors, there are 2 marks for knowledge, as I mentioned, 2 marks for application and 2 for analysis. Now, so first I'll demonstrate knowledge. Lack of market research, right? So this is knowledge being demonstrated. The first factor is lack of market research, the reason of Kroger Enterprises to fail. Now, I'll start my analysis or application, because generally application is part of analysis when you are explaining something or showing an impact on the business or on or anything which is being discussed in the question. Now, explanation: Kroger deals in electronic items whose market is quite dynamic. Now remember, if you write electronic business, because generally I have seen many students write electronic business and they feel that this is application. Now remember, electronic business can fit anywhere. You can use it at the start, you can use it at the last as well, or in the middle as well. So this does not show the relevance that is required to gain marks for application, I'm telling you. So you have to relate the information which you are mentioning here with your answer, whatever you are talking here, right? So when I mentioned that they actually deals in electronic items, I mentioned that the market is dynamic. What does it mean? It means that the demand is ever changing. Competition might be quite intense, because every now and then new technology may come in, right? And you have to use that technology as well, otherwise you will fall behind your competitors, right? Similarly, consumers' demand may change as well when it comes to electronic items. So that is why I wrote market is quite dynamic. Again, it's not written but it is relevant to electronic business or businesses deal in electronic items. That is why it is also part of application. So to be called something as application does not mean that you have to copy something from the information which is there, but again the context has to be the same. Okay, so you can look at the context and then you can use any word or phrase as application which is relevant to that context. So that is in blue, right? Because this is application. Now analysis, that requires up-to-date market information. So I am now explaining it. I'm into analysis. I'm making an argument, right? So that requires up-to-date market information to adapt to changing circumstances, because market is dynamic. So you need to get first-hand knowledge about what is happening in the market, what customers desire, what competitors are doing or planning, right? To changing circumstances such as new improved toaster launched by competitors. So I have shown another way to demonstrate application. This is also application, right? Such as, like, they obviously deal in toasters as well. So they would get to know rather how to build a new type of toaster or how to manufacture a new type of toaster. Okay. Now, okay, so launched by competitors, right? So market, if you do not do market research, competitors would launch it first with the new technology and then people would buy from them. And then of course, once they have spent a certain amount of money on an item, why would they be buying from you again the same item? Of course not, no? So that is why. Now further, so without market research, such information is not available, right? So now I am showing the impact of it, that what is the cause of business failure, why lack of market research can be a major cause of business failure. The last line is, so without market research, such information is not available, leading to business failure. So now this is a comprehensive answer, because I have shown knowledge as well, application as well, in fact on 2 occasions, right? And analysis. But remember, whenever you do your analysis, you must end by showing an impact of it on the business or anything which is being discussed in the question or mentioned in the question, right? Okay, factor 2 is over expansion. Again, I colored it red. Again, knowledge being shown. Then Kroger Enterprises. Now again, if you write Kroger Enterprises, that is the name of the business. So this is not considered as application at all. Do remember that. If you write the name of the owner, name of the business, this is not application. Remember, use the context of the business. So Kroger Enterprises is planning to take over business A. Yeah, now this is application, right? But if by writing this line, the examiner cannot consider that as application unless and until I relate it with my argument, right? Or with my analysis. So I read it again. Kroger Enterprises is planning to take over business A that requires significant amount of finance, right? So if it is not managed carefully, it may face financial crisis leading to business failure. Again, a compact answer. Okay, again the effect is being shown on the business. Why would it be the cause of business failure? Remember, whenever you are doing your analysis, you always use connectives. Like I wrote so, leading to. Okay, similarly you can use conclusively, right? So use connectives to build an argument so that examiner would come to know that you are showing an impact till the very end. Okay, now so you will get 6 out of 6 because another 3 marks will be obtained by you because you have shown knowledge, application, analysis in the second part of the question as well. Okay, now the last part, the most difficult one. Okay, as far as P1 is concerned, that is part E. I told you why, because it requires evaluation as well. And how do you know? Because the question starts with the phrase, do you think? So it shows that they demand your point of view, your opinion, your suggestion, right? So evaluation is all about your opinion, your suggestion, but it has to be backed up by solid justification, logical reasoning, right? How the marks will be distributed: 2 marks for knowledge, 2 for analysis, and 2 for evaluation, right? Now, how would I start? Many students, they start this question straight away by giving their opinion. So I suggest them, this is not recommended. Your opinion has to come at the end. After discussing whatever is the statement of the question, you will discuss the pros and cons, and then you will come up with your own opinion, because it will facilitate the examiner also to judge whether your evaluation is solid, with reason, with justification or not, right? Like whenever you are actually trying to give an opinion, first of all, you make a ground, right? So that is very important. That is why never start the question with your opinion. First make a ground by discussing pros and cons, and then come up with your opinion, because the ground, whatever you make, that will help you give your opinion, right? Now, let me read it for you. Takeover helps business to expand quickly. Now what I am doing, I am again showing the pros, the advantage of taking over a rival business. So I highlighted it with red color, and the reason is because I am telling the examiner, this is knowledge, give me 1 mark, because there are 2 marks for knowledge, right? Now I'll explain that how would it be done, like how it would expand quickly. Now, as rivals business becomes part of business taking over, the business which is taking over the other business, of course, the other business that is being taken over would become the part of the business, right? Now, market share and sales increase. Now I'm showing an impact, right? That once you take over, your market share and sales would increase, right? Impact. Consequently, again, connective. So this shows that you are actually, you are building an argument, right? Consequently, business is able to earn a good brand image. Now, this is analysis. An examiner will easily give you 1 mark for analysis here, at least 1 mark. It is always better to discuss the other side as well. This is what we call make a ground first before giving your opinion, right? So the other side is, and always start the other side with the word however. This shows that you are now discussing the other side. However, such expansion often comes with culture clash. Again, knowledge. I have shown that it will lead to culture clash. But now I would explain that how would it, why would it be a culture clash, and how would it impact the business as well. This would be my analysis, right? as employees from both businesses might have a different approach to their work, obviously because they might be working in a different environment, in different circumstances, under different bosses having different approaches. Okay, so as employees from both businesses might have a different approach to their work, and hence, again connective, right? So I'm building an argument, I'm into analysis, and hence may not be able to work together, leading to inefficiencies and failure to meet targets. Impact, a solid impact. Now I am showing the impact. So your analysis must end by showing a solid impact on the business, or on employees, or on customers, or on environment. Again, it all depends on the statement of the question, right? So now it means I have done my analysis and I have demonstrated knowledge as well. So up till now, I would get 4 out of 6, 2 for knowledge and 2 for analysis. Now I would show my opinion, right? I believe, or you can say in my point of view, or I suggest, I believe taking over rival's business is a good idea. Now this is the one-liner, and you might not get any mark because there is nothing behind it. You need to back it up with some solid reasoning, right? So now let's see the reason. The reason is that it reduces the amount of competition, and business won't have to spend on marketing much. Of course, because your close competitor might not be your competitor any longer, because now it's your own business. It has become part of your business. So you might not have to spend much on marketing like advertisement. So if there are few competitors in the market, so I mentioned that if there are few competitors and one of the competitors is now part of your business, of course, now there is no such competition which was available or which exists earlier, right? So you may not have to spend a lot of money on advertising or marketing of the business. Okay, so moving onwards, so the reason is that it reduces the amount of competition, and business won't have to spend on marketing much if there are few competitors in the market, I mentioned, or you can write this as well, if the business being taken over is a close competitor, again, right? So if you take over your close competitor, now there is no intense competition there, so you can relax as far as your marketing campaign is concerned, or your marketing expenditure is concerned, right? So that would lead to lower expenses and higher profit. Again, at the end, you have to show the impact. In your evaluation as well, you have to show the impact. So that would lead to lower expenses and higher profit. So a compact evaluation. So this is how, so I'll get 2 marks for evaluation here, and in this question, I'll get 6 out of 6. Now, the second question, it is based on chapter number 4. Now, let me read the information. Again, red is for knowledge, blue is for application, pink is for analysis, and green is for evaluation. Now, Mike runs a successful grocery store that employs 10 workers from floor manager to porter. He is thinking to add a business partner for opening another outlet. His friends suggested him to convert into a private limited company rather than converting into a partnership business. Another option is to buy a franchise of an established brand. Okay, another way to remember that what should be part of application, you can underline important information in the information which is given to you at the start. So you can underline 10 workers, you can underline floor manager, porter, grocery store, because it will hint you that what is the nature of the business or what is part of the business, so that you can use that context in your answer as application. Now, what is the first question? Part A, define partnership. Again, the command word define is there, 2 marks for knowledge straight away. So it is an agreement between two or more people, right? So I forgot to write more. 2 or more people called partners sharing capital, responsibilities, and profit in a business. Again, 2 parts are there. How? One, it is an agreement between 2 or more people, right? And the second is that in this agreement, capital, responsibilities, and profit is shared, right? So this is the second part. You will get 2 out of 2. Now, see the B part. Outline 2 disadvantages to Mike of running a business alone. So again, outline is there, the command word, 2 marks for knowledge, 2 for application. Similar to the other question we discussed earlier. Now, disadvantage 1, I would first mention the knowledge part. There is no one to share responsibilities and Mike has to manage. Okay, just wait. I'll read it again. There is no one to share responsibilities. This is knowledge, right? This is a disadvantage. And now I'll relate it with the business. And Mike has to manage all 10 workers by himself. Now 10 workers is application. Why? Because it is mentioned in the given information and it is quite related to whatever I am writing. So I'll get 2 marks, 1 for knowledge, 1 for application. Disadvantage 2. There will be no one else to discuss before taking crucial decisions. Now again, it is knowledge that no one is there to guide you which decision is better for the business, such as whether to buy franchise of an established brand or not. Yes, because they are planning to grow their business through franchise. So this is also very relevant information I mentioned here in my answer. This is application. So I'll get 4 out of 4 here, right? 2 for knowledge and 2 for application. Then we have C part. Explain. Again, command word explain is there. 2 for knowledge, 2 for application and 2 for analysis. Explain 2 advantages to Mike of converting the business to a private limited company. So advantage 1 is limited liability, right? It is in red color, knowledge is there. And then I started my analysis. So the color is pink. In case not many people pay a visit to Mike's grocery store, right? Again, relevant that people has to pay a visit. It's a type of a business where people pay a visit, right? It's a grocery store. So relevant information, application. So I colored it blue. So pay a visit to Mike's grocery store and hence loss occurs. Mike's personal belongings won't be used to pay the debt of the business. So I mentioned how limited liability is an advantage, right? This is my analysis. And I mentioned application here as well. So this is, I'm done with knowledge, application, analysis as far as advantage 1 is concerned. Now advantage 2, access to large capital. Knowledge, I colored it in red. Now I will mention that how would large capital be obtained if private limited company is formed, right? So that would be my analysis. Private limited company can issue shares to raise capital. Like private limited company has an option to issue shares as well to raise a certain amount of finance. So I am into my analysis now. That would help business to pay license fee in case it plans to buy franchise. Again, a very relevant information because they are planning to grow through franchise business. So this is application, very relevant to the answer I am writing. Okay. Consequently, again connective, and I am building my argument. This is analysis. Consequently, business will be able to grow. And I mentioned that how would it have an impact on the business. Okay. So this is my analysis, and you can see easily that application is part of analysis. That while doing my analysis, I am demonstrating application as well. This is the perfect way to show application rather than showing it in isolation. Now the D part, do you think, again there are 2 marks for knowledge, 2 for analysis and 2 for evaluation. There are no marks for application at all, right? According to new pattern. Okay, now expansion through franchise reduces the risk of failure. Now what am I doing? I'm again discussing the pros and cons, or at least one advantage or one disadvantage of either to go with franchise business or not. So I first mentioned an advantage that it would reduce the risk of failure. And now I would need to explain that, and that would be my analysis. As franchisor's brand name is already famous, so franchisee does not need to worry about sales of its products. Of course, owing to strong customer base, because franchisor already has a lot of customers. Consequently, again connective, remember, because I am into my analysis, business gets assurance of certain sales to happen. Again, end result is the impact on the business, and that is assurance of sales. I now will discuss the other side, the disadvantage. So I use the word at the start, however. However, it may raise the cost of the business. I told you earlier, however hints the examiner that now you are discussing the other side. So it will have a good impact on the examiner that you know the other side as well. So you are making a ground here. It may raise the cost of the business. Knowledge, color in red. And now I'll mention that why would cost increase or how would it impact the business. As hefty amount needs to be paid by the franchisee in the form of license fee, of course. As a result, again connective, okay, I am building my analysis now. Business may have to borrow money from the bank. That will increase the expense as interest needs to be paid, leading to lower profit. Now you can see that I have comprehensively demonstrated my analysis. So end result is lower profit because of higher cost. And why higher cost would be there? I mentioned that because there would be interest rate. They have to borrow money from the bank. In my opinion, now I'm into my evaluation, so it is in green color. Business should expand independently as owners have complete freedom in making decisions. Of course, that is not there if you run a franchise. Leading to satisfaction and motivation for the owner, right? I didn't write that, but you can write as well. Satisfaction and motivation for the owner. Whereas as a franchisee, major decisions are taken by franchisor. So impact on the owners. They feel satisfied that we can work independently. We can take decisions independently. So they would start taking more interest in running that business. Okay, so you can write that as well, but remember there is a space provided to you and you have to write within that space. So you have to think before you write, otherwise there will be a problem and you have to write outside the space given to you, and that would give a bad impression to the examiner. Okay, so I discussed the advantage first, then the disadvantage, and then I came up with the final conclusion with justification. But remember, if you are discussing advantage and disadvantage in the body of the question, you cannot use the same point as justification. Now what does it mean? It means you have to come up with a new point. It can be an advantage if you are in favor of it, or it can be a disadvantage if you are against that argument, but it has to be a new point. It should not have been discussed in the body of the answer, because examiner cannot give you marks for the same point or same argument if you use it on two occasions in the answer. All right, now the last question, that is based on chapter number 5. I know the video is long, but it is very important to have a good grab on it if you want to get marks or grade you desire. All right, so let me read the information. Lee runs a salon that offers hair cutting, massage, facial, groom makeup and other services to men. She has 5 employees including the shop manager. So you can underline 5 employees and shop manager as well to be used as application later. Perry has set a business objective of providing top quality service to its clients. Now the first question is part A, question number 1. Identify 2 business objectives other than mentioned above. It means the objective of providing top quality service cannot be used in your answer. You won't get any marks for that. So you have to write 2 other business objectives. So I wrote profit and growth, very common objectives. So I'll get 2 marks because the command word is identify, and whenever the command word identify is there, there are only marks for knowledge. So you will get 2 marks here. Now the second question is explain 2 advantages to Lee of making employees as stakeholders happy. Employees as stakeholders happy. So I wrote, again the command word explain is there. There are 2 marks for knowledge, 2 application and 2 for analysis. Advantage 1, higher productivity, knowledge being shown, right? I wrote that if employees as stakeholders will be happy, the productivity will be high. Okay, now I am into my analysis. In explanation, employees would stay motivated and work to their potential. As a result, again a connective, I am building my argument, Lee would be able to provide top quality service to its customers. Why I colored it blue? Yes, you are right. This is application. While I am building my argument, I found out that yes, there is an important information which I could use as application. So I wrote that. Okay, hence business objective would be achieved successfully. So I showed the impact that I started with higher productivity. I built my argument and I ended by saying that it would make the business successful in achieving their targets. So I'll get 1 for knowledge, 1 for application and 1 for analysis. Then low labor turnover, the second advantage, knowledge. Then analysis, okay, in pink. Employees would remain loyal and likely to stay with the business, okay. As a result, recruitment cost of hiring employees such as shop manager can be saved. I told you earlier at the start of the question that you can underline shop manager because now you can use it effectively here as application. So you may not, the business may not have to recruit managers time and again because they like to stay with the business as they are loyal. Okay, so this is also we are done with it. So when I show the knowledge, I explain that how would it have an impact on the business. This is analysis, right? And during my analysis, I have to show application somewhere as well, which has to be relevant. Okay. Last question is, do you think setting business objectives would always make a business successful? Again, do you think is there? So 2 marks for knowledge, 2 for analysis, and 2 for evaluation. This is how you would learn that, and I'm telling you, if you keep on practicing that, if you keep on watching my videos, it would remain in your memory for forever or till your exams approach. Okay, objectives provide direction to the business. Again, what am I doing? I'm actually first of all making the ground, the advantage first. That what is the advantage of setting business objectives? Do not straight away come to conclusion that I believe that the business would be successful or not. That would be your last part of the answer. So objectives provide direction to the business, okay, knowledge. Okay, now what will happen? How would it impact the business? Everybody in the organization is able to know what would be his or her contribution towards achieving those objectives, okay. It leads to, or you can write hence, okay, as well. It leads to efficiency as all activities will be focused. So what is the effect on business? That efficiency will prevail in the organization. This is impact. You can go even further, but again you need to consider the space that is being provided to you, right? So you can write efficiency would lead to lower cost and profit, but if you have shown one impact, that is sufficient to get 1 mark for analysis. Okay, now however, now I'm discussing the other side. However, other factors such as financial management is also crucial for the success of a business. Now I'm telling other side is that setting business objective is not the only factor which is required to make the business successful. That is, I am actually explaining. I am telling there are other factors as well that are important, and one of the factors is financial management. That is also crucial. So that's what I'm telling, because the question is whether if you set business objectives, would it make the business successful? Would it guarantee? Of course not, na? But you won't say of course not, because you would say that at the end. Okay. So, however, other factors such as financial management is also crucial for the success of a business. If funds are not managed well, now I am into analysis, a business may experience liquidity crisis. I am explaining why would financial management lead to business failure, okay, or may not give business a success. So, if funds are not managed well, a business may experience liquidity crisis and hence unable to meet targets. I showed the impact on business, right? So, compact analysis. Now I'm into my evaluation. So it's in green color. In my opinion, setting objectives is important for an organization to be successful, right? I mentioned that. Or you can write, I just made an arrow, always make business successful. It's up to you. Remember, whenever you are into evaluation, you need to address the statement of the question. Okay? It signals the examiner that you are into evaluation. I repeat, whenever you are making a recommendation, always address the statement of the question. And statement of the question should not be addressed anywhere else other than as the last part. Like you won't say that it would be successful or not. I just mentioned the advantage of setting business objective and one other factor which might be important for business success as well. Now I am addressing the statement of the question. So there are two ways. Now I wrote, but it does not guarantee success, or you can write it does not always make business successful. It's up to you, whatever you choose to write. Okay, objectives need to be realistic and effective strategies need to be formulated. Of course, if your objective is not realistic, like it's not possible to achieve it, there is no point business would be successful, right? And apart from that, once you set objectives, you need to formulate strategies, na action plan. Without it, how can you be successful as a business? Of course not. So that's I'm writing. it needs to be realistic, and effective strategies need to be formulated to meet those objectives. So failure to do it would make business unsuccessful. Of course, if there are no right strategies, or if the objective is not realistic, of course business would be a failure. It won't be a success at all. So I mentioned it, I addressed the statement that it's not compulsory that once a business sets objectives, it would guarantee that it would be successful. Why? Because I backed it up with logical reasoning. I justified my point of view. That's it. And to watch videos like this in the future as well, do subscribe my channel. Bye bye.